Ayup Woodlanders. Chilly start this morning. I've had a couple of frosts these last few days, which has been rather pleasant in a way, because it helps to dry the ground out a little bit. Yesterday I had my brother with me. He's more into motorbikes than doing anything in the woodland, but he got a day spare, so he came and helped us in the oaks, which was great because he did all the stacking as I was felling, so I could pretty well run the chainsaw non-stop, which made a massive difference to productivity. Today we're in our own little bit of woodland in the National Forest, and we've got some ash down the bottom end that aren't doing very well. The ash dieback is taking a hold significantly now. I have a plan which I think I might have to explain in another video because it sort of clutters the wood log. I want to try and get 50 of them down if I can. I'm running out of winter again, and I think Karen is on about coming up as well for a couple of hours. She's going to help me drag out this morning so I can keep on cutting. It's just nice at the minute. I feel like I'm ticking one or two jobs off that I've got on my mind, that I've had on my mind for a long time. I've just not had a chance to get anything done. If you're not in the UK and you don't know much about UK news, they said the other day that our economy, this economy, has gone into recession in the last quarter, which doesn't, you know, I don't tend to sit and sweat about these things. But I've noticed that for the last 6 months, things have gone very quiet for us. People have been really cautious about what they spend their money on. But we'll see, it's early days yet, and I imagine once the gardening season starts to take hold, we'll start to get some inquiries then for hurdles. Karen doesn't like being on film much, and I'm still self-conscious about talking into a camera and there's somebody watching me. Afternoon. I have neglected you today. Karen came in this morning, did a whole load of clearing up and stacking, which was brilliant. We've done about 23 today, so I can see it being at least another 2 days on this. We've got some poles for Ian. This is the result of our cutting today. We have close to 2 cords of wood, which if you know anything about cordwood, that is a lot of timber. I'm not sure if it's something like 2.5 cubic meters of wood per cord. So in that there's about 4 and a bit cubic meters. That's guesstimate, that's all off the top of my head, so don't take my word for it. It's gardening tomorrow and some apple tree pruning for Jeff's wife Pat.
So we'll grab a pole for Ian, we'll grab the saw, grab the camera, grab the tongs, grab the lever, and we'll make our way back up to the top.
Done a little gardening job this morning, and this afternoon we're pruning Jeff's wife's trees, Pat's. There's a few to do. It's more of the sun shoots than anything else. Normally you would prune an apple tree in January. Jeff normally does it himself, but he's sort of run out of winter, a bit like me. Most of it is last year's growth, which is just these stick bits up here. Tomorrow is the bonus day, February the 29th. It's interesting to listen to what you've got to say about what you were going to do with your bonus day. I don't yet know what I'm going to be doing with my bonus day, but I do feel like there should be a little bit of Lego in amongst all of that. Anyway, this is not a Lego channel, so we'll crack on with our pruning. A lot of people get really scared about apple tree pruning and also rose pruning as well, and I've over the years come to take them in my stride, but I used to be petrified of touching anything in case I killed it or something. But the basics to apple trees is often you try and get off, if you want a fruited apple tree anyway, is to take off the sun shoots. Anything that grows in the centre you want out, because you want to try and create an open centre like this one. It's a good example. There's sort of nothing in that middle bit there. That's what you want. And then so this one, taking off some of these last year's growth, which I call the sun shoots. I've perhaps been in the coppice too long. Then you're looking for things like crossing branches, anything that's been rubbing, because that just creates a wound that will get disease in it. So cut out crossing branches, and that is basically it really. Kevaliti, I'll try and link his video. He did an interesting little short video about apple tree pruning a couple of months ago. I think it's better to prune something than not to prune it at all. Got an all new selfie pole. So the goal really, like I said before, keep the centre quite open so I can float you around in the centre like that. We lost transmission then because the battery went flat. However, it wasn't really meant to be any kind of tutorial. If you want to learn how to do apple pruning, you might have to go onto the course, but there's sort of three basics. Prune off the water shoots, keep the centre open, cut out crossing and dead branches. Tomorrow is February the 29th, and I think while it won't be a day off, it might be a day of DIY. I've got some basement joists in our house that are rotten on the ends, and I've got some strengthening plates. I think they call them bower beams, and you have to bolt these two galvanised plates either side of the beam, and then it slots into the joist socket thing. Budo, if you're watching, I've just butchered all of the technical terms for all of that, but I know what a joist is, and I'm hoping I'm doing the right thing. Everyone reckons these bower beams are awesome, and I've put them in, and it saves us having to basically change the whole of the floor underneath the living room, dining room, sort of dining room, living room. Morning. More rain, which has left us underwater again. I was meant to be coppicing today. I've got some hazel to coppice at our woodland, which is where I'm at now. I'm going to try and do a little bit more of my brush cutting of the bramble. Oh, it's so wet. I think I've said before, it's not about eradicating bramble. Part of me wants to eradicate bramble, but I know ecologically eradicating bramble is not good. It produces flowers, it produces habitat, and can also help to get trees to germinate, because it can sort of act as a natural barrier against browsing and rabbits and things. So it's kind of good because it helps a little bit of the self-set trees to get going. But there's limits when I've got to work in a certain area and I've got this stuff wrapped around my ankles and it pulls you over and trips you up. So I tend to sort of rotate my cycles, so it's sort of on a 2-year rotation. It's a bit like coppicing really. It serves a purpose, but also bramble gets on my nerves. So
You've probably heard me say all of that before, so you're not really interested, are you? No.
That's not a bad day, that isn't. Give you a quick spin. This is what we actually bramble bashed last year, but because I got blackthorn and other such things regrowing, I decided to do it all again, and this area was pretty bad. And this hazel coppice is what I cut last year, and if I don't get top side of the bramble, it grows over the top of it and ends up pulling it all down. So I think maybe just a quick top again next year, we'll probably see that alright, and then eventually the hazel will shade it out and it won't be such a problem. Got another appointment to go to with Karen. Good afternoon. Just been working on a little willow project, which I think I might put in a separate video. But that has took considerably longer than I really wanted to, which is a shame. So I've had my lunch. I've got to nip down and get Ian's poles. That's the next job. Right, can we do 4? I was taking some tree shelters off earlier, of some oak trees I planted about 6-7 years ago. And what happens is sometimes, with a tree shelter on, sometimes in the years you get a lot of red ant problems. And the red ants, they come up, they make the nest up inside the tree shelter, and you get this long sort of column ant's nest. Well, of course, it just got this wet soil then in it on the stem of the tree. Only a couple of the oaks, I took the tree shelter off, and the tree just came straight out of the ground. One little root on it. So with the combination of the wet and the ant's nest, the tree's dead. With the sustained wet we've had this year, there's always going to be some sort of casualty. Whew. Just have a breather. That's a few bean poles put in as well. The old bean poles have been selling really well the last couple of days. Kevin from Hartwood put a little note in a local sort of pamphlet advertising newspapery update thing, and he put my name in that, did a little article about hazel hurdles, bean poles, biochar, those sort of things, and got a few inquiries from that, which is nice. I'm hoping to sell out this year, because last year we really struggled, so I cut loads of bean poles and I reckon we didn't sell about 300, which is about 450 quid's worth of money. Now that's a lot of money, that's about 5 days work for me, so I basically worked 5 days for nothing, although it did get turned to charcoal. Oh, why me? Which, there's always one rod that catches on the ground, isn't there? Take it steady, long arms. And today is about March the 4th, I think, today. And normally by now, I've just about finished doing all the hazel cutting, and we're starting to get a stack of orders ready for the hazel hurdles. So at this point, I have no hurdle orders, which is, that's the first time that's ever happened. We've got March and April, so maybe the people, because of the wet, are like, oh, some spring and summer a long way off yet. We're not even thinking about it. But that is quite a challenge. Now, I did start to creep my price up of the panels and the fitting price, because I just can't afford to live anymore on it. And I've just got a sneaky feeling people are they're just not prepared to pay anymore. So let's hope that charcoal sales are okay, because if they take a hit as well, I'm going to have to start looking for alternative means of income, I think. I've never had so much aggro and never been so concerned about money since I did my apprenticeship MVQ, which was 20 odd years ago. I mean, it was tight then, but now it's madness. Well, we have got a bit of all sorts here today. We've got big poles, we've got firewood, we've got weaving rods, we've got hazel bean poles, and we've got some pea sticks over in this corner ready to go out. It's almost a complete mix of Coppice products in that. All we need is a bit of charcoal, isn't it, really? Anyway, the wind's getting up. We're off next to deliver these. Ian, Pete, I can't think of all the others. Anyway, there you go. I'll see you in the morning, and I think tomorrow will definitely be hazel cutting.
20 past.
quite a stunning day in woodland paradise. Today I'm doing what I should have done yesterday, and that is cut the hazel. Get it cut and laid into drifts if I can. I'm not very good at that, but that's the general idea on in-cycle coppice. If you were watching last autumn, around about October time, we were in here cutting out stakes. There's probably about 20 odd stools here, and with the leaves off it looks a whole lot less than it did before. Look at this old pine stool. That's fascinating, look at that. Oh, I love that. You can see where, oops daisy, you can see where the branches have come out there, look. And they've been sawn off with a chainsaw. But look at that. And now this is all rotten, but the branch wood is still sort of hard. Yeah, that's incredible. It's like the skeleton of the tree. Set up the time lapse, drop a bit of music in, and we'll get cutting some hazel.
Whispers of the breeze, secrets unfold. It's you that I need, it's you that I want. When the world gets cold, it's you and me. When the sun comes back, you'll see. Oh, dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on through the toughest of times. We still stand strong. Through pavement we will grow. Forever we will grow. Deep within your eyes, I found a home. The love that we share.
That's this little micro coop done. All laid into drifts. That'll be dressed now. The coop we've just been working on, I cut about 11 years ago. It was one of the first bits of hazel coppice I did. It was all overstood. None of it was any good other than charcoal and firewood. And it's a strange feeling when you first coppice, you think, I hope this grows. But rest assured, if you're new to the coppicing game and you're a little bit hesitant about cutting hazel, even if it's been overstood for years, decades, just get in there and do it. That now is my third cut in 11 years, and it's doing really well. And I'm looking to start possibly a 4-year rotation here, because I don't necessarily need hedging stakes out of it. What I want personally is really high quality coppice hazel rods that I can use for hurdles.
In your gaze, the world looks bright. Forever by your side. This town is quiet, serene and wide. You keep me warm.
Been dog rosed. And it's stinging like anything. It's leaking through my gloves. Oh, I think it's took a layer of skin off somewhere, just about there, and it hurts. It keeps bleeding. So we'll go and shove a plaster on, shall we? Finger's repaired, and we've just cut our last hazel stool, which was just over there. Quick pan round. We've got to dress all this lot now. It's just gone about 4:15 today. Part of me wants to stay and get some of it done. I might just do 20 minutes. Oh no, I can't. I've got to get some beam poles ready. Forget that suggestion. Once these are dressed and got out of the way, then this oak, this one, and this oak, and then that pine there have all got come out because they're casting just too much shade over this lot. And I've actually got some hazels dotted about that I've cut down in this bit here as well, which is sort of underneath these 3 trees. So if we get those out, then that means these hazels will gradually expand this area. I'll see you anon. Some more woodland goodness.